I had the time of my life. Don't be a resort babe, guys. Don't be that person. They hadn't stamped my passport. It is such a struggle when it comes to booking excursions. Tipping is a thing. Find a legitimate driver. She asked for more money, so then after that we was like, you know what, hire a car. And I'm assuming if you've watched this video, you are either one, thinking about traveling to Jamaica, or two, you've got that booked already and you're ready to go. This is the video for you guys. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, then of course welcome to you guys too. My name is Janessatg, and as you guys know, I recently got back from Jamaica. These birds are literally paid actors right now. Like, the way they're just doing their thing, I love it. Literally feel like I'm in a Disney movie. As I was saying, as you guys know, I recently got back from Jamaica. So I did it in two parts. I did a travel to Jamaica vlog with me, which I vlogged my trip from London Heathrow, flying with Virgin to Montego Bay, Jamaica, Sangster Airport. And my second one was my full, complete Jamaica vlog. Where will we go? When the quarantine thing done and everybody touch down. If you guys have missed that by any chance, then I'll link it down below. You guys can check it out. It was an amazing trip. I had the time of my life, which is why I'm sat here now coming to you guys and sharing my top tips. Now, this trip to Jamaica was not my first rodeo. It was not my first trip to Jamaica. I've been to Jamaica multiple times, but this time it was different as I wasn't traveling with my family. I wasn't traveling with my dad, who's usually like the lead person when we go to Jamaica. We'd hire a car, we'd go here, there and everywhere. But this time I went with my best friend. My auntie was out there, of course, but I went with my best friend, which means I was actually in charge of their itinerary and the transport and everything that we were doing, which actually I really enjoyed. It gave me the opportunity to learn a lot more about Jamaica and its tourism than what I would usually learn on my other trips. And I'm assuming if you've watched this video, you are either one, thinking about traveling to Jamaica, or two, you've got that booked already and you're ready to go, and you're trying to get as much information as possible prior to going, and you're trying to prepare yourself. So this is a video for you guys. I will say that I am very envious if you're about to take a trip to Jamaica, because I am obsessed with that country. It literally has a place in my heart. Like most, Jamaica has me in a chokehold, and I don't know, it just means a bit more when I travel to Jamaica than other places, because that's where my roots are, you know, very connected to that country, I'm not gonna lie. So with that being said, I'm here to share 10 top tips of things to know before traveling to Jamaica. Let's get into this. I'm gonna list them, a few points, and then move on to the next one. So let's do this. This isn't really a point. I'd say it's like 0.5 before I get to number 1, but I'm gonna share it with you guys anyway, because I was really upset when I realized I got home from Jamaica and they hadn't stamped my passport, guys. They hadn't stamped it. And if you're like me, who likes to get your passport stamped up, like, did you even go to that trip if you don't have a stamp? I would just double check that they've stamped it when you're going through customs. I feel like if I'd have known, or if I was aware that it was at that point where they're doing it, then I would have just been like, oh, where's my stamp, babes, where's my stamp? But you know, they didn't stamp my passport. Anyway, we'll move on. And with that being said, number 1, prepare to wait when you land in Jamaica. The customs queue is intense. You are going to have to wait. I think we waited maybe about an hour and 20 in that queue, and it was intense, especially after a 10-hour flight. If you've really got a long haul flight, like if you're flying from London or Birmingham or Manchester, then it's really worth getting the Club Mobay package. Like, honestly, I wish I did it before. I had heard about Club Mobay before going. It was actually on the TUI app, but I didn't think that I would have needed it, because I don't recall waiting that long on my previous trip. But I would recommend getting it. Like, if I was to do that trip again, I would 100% get it. They pick you up from landing and they take you straight to your car, and you just bypass the whole queue. If you've got kids, very handy. If you've got a lot of luggage to collect, very handy. If you've got somewhere to be once you've landed, also very handy. I believe it's quite affordable. I think it was like £30 per person, or £27. But yeah, definitely prepare for the queue. Just prepare for the queue. Is a lot, you know. And that brings me on to number 2, which I'm very passionate about. Bring JA dollars instead of US dollars. I mean, like, make it a balance if you really want to, but I completely regret taking 100% US dollars, because it is such a struggle when it comes to booking excursions, when it comes to cabs, when it comes to supermarket visits, like corner shops, anything. Personally, I feel like it's worth having the Jamaican dollars, and when I go back to Jamaica, I'm 100% getting Jamaican dollars. I found that whenever I was going on trips or excursions, they were asking for Jamaican dollars, and when we were given the US dollars, obviously like nobody's got time to do the conversion rate and trying to work out how much change you're supposed to get back, so you don't know if what you're getting back is correct or not. For one, I feel like it would have been 100% a lot more convenient if I had Jamaican dollars, so 100% I am taking Jamaican dollars. I feel like I just had a lot of issues when it came to me using US dollars. If I was to weigh them up, I had so many more issues paying with US dollars than Jamaican. Like everywhere asked for Jamaican, and it's like, come on, man. I know it's very common to take US dollars, and I understand that a lot of you guys who might be watching this video might be watching from America, and actually in fact 75% of Jamaica's tourism is from the US. But honestly, even if you're not familiar with the Jamaican dollar, then familiarize yourself and you'll see the difference, I promise you, and you'll never look back. Point number 3 is tipping is a thing in Jamaica. This point is mainly for us UK people because it's not within our culture to tip. Reason being is because our legal minimum wage already covers for that. So what you guys in America as such would get for tips, we already get within our wages. Obviously there is an option if you would like to tip your waiter, but it is not mandatory. Yeah, as I was saying, this is for my UK people. I don't know if it's the same in the whole of Europe, but for us UK people, you need to prepare to tip. You need to have small change to be able to tip from the moment you land. If they help you to your car with your luggage, you need to be prepared to tip. You have to remember that in Jamaica they heavily rely on tourism. Just prepare yourself and just have that loose change. They do really be working so hard for their money. I've met so many amazing Jamaican people out there, and honestly they're just so nice. Moving on to number 4, don't be a resort babe, guys. Don't be that person. Now I know a lot of you like to go away to chill. Don't get me wrong, I am exactly the same. But Jamaica has so many misconceptions, and I know that's the real reason you like being a resort babe. I know, guys, I know. Now, this is not me telling you to be naive about the country, but I am here to say that every country has its unsafe areas. Every freaking country. I'm in London, I would tell you that there's locations within the UK that you would not find me at, okay? And Jamaica is exactly the same, so please do not let that stop you from exploring the beautiful island. And I'll be so real, the chances are as a tourist you will never find yourself in such a situation or such an area. If you get lost, ask the locals for directions. Now they might not be clear. They might not be clear, but they will willingly help you out. So hey, why not book those excursions, walk along the strip, go to the supermarket, try the local foods and experience the culture. Get out there and experience the cultures. I promise you, you will not regret it. You'll see, and after you've experienced it, you'll be asking yourself, what on earth was the festival about? And I say all of that, but obviously be safe as you possibly can be. For example, do your research prior to going. Ask all the right people the right questions. That's gonna allow yourself to become more confident when you're going out and about, right? That's what helped me a lot. I knew prior to going to Jamaica where I wanted to go, how I was gonna get there, and when I landed there and got to certain situations when I was at the hotel, I'd ask certain people, right, listen, what's the situation here, blah blah blah. Ask the questions, people will tell you. They'll be so real with you too. Other than that, be safe and have fun, guys. That was a long one, sorry. With that being said, let's go on to number 5, and that is trying the Janessatg Express. If you're from the UK, literally identical to the National Express, the same system. You book online, you go to the location, it takes you from A to B to like big cities. Similar prices. I'm aware that a lot of people wouldn't want to do such a thing, like, oh, the thought of getting on a coach or a bus in a foreign country. It does not have the best reputation in any country that you're going to. If it's foreign, then you're always going to be like, oh, coach? I don't know about that. But I experienced it. Even I was a bit on edge, I'm not gonna lie, until I got there and I realised how smooth it was. And me living in London, where I travel back and forth to my hometown Gloucester to see my family, I'm always on coaches, so I am a bit more familiar with that whole system. We actually got the local bus to Kingston. That was an experience. Like, if you're going to be on edge about anything, it's going to be that. If you have not seen my vlog, check it out after, it's all in there. But yeah, we got the Janessatg Express. It did take a bit long, but we did have a stop off where you can get refreshments and whatnot for about 15-20 minutes, and then you're on your way again.
I'm not stupid, I'm not a fool. Know what I'm doing, I'm into school. Keep a firm grip on what you hold. More
think it took about 3.5 hours. It has aircon on board, the seats are comfortable, it has plug socket, CCTV, literally anything that you will see on a National Express, you will see on a Knutsford Express. It's very handy if you're working on a budget and you don't want to have to book excursions with the hotel or etc. where it's very expensive. So yeah, I recommend checking that out. Number 6, I'll share items that I would recommend you guys taking that you probably wouldn't think of. Well, SPF you would definitely think of. So yeah, I'd highly recommend taking SPF. The heat is serious out there. I went in March and it literally, like, the tan was tanning. Imagine going in like July and August, which is when I usually go. It gets really hot out there and the UV levels are high, so don't be naive thinking, oh, I don't need that. I know, I was one of those people, okay? You need SPF, especially if you're from the UK where the UV levels are not that high throughout the year. Just protect yourself, you know? Take water shoes, even if you're staying on a resort, when you're going snorkeling within the resort. They're also really handy if you're going on excursions, Duns River Falls or Blue Lagoons or whatnot. Take some bug spray. I was laughing at Fatma when we was at the airport and she was like, do we need bug spray? And I was like, do we need bug spray? What do you think we need? Mosquito spray? No, we're fine. Just eat you alive. Until we was there for 2 weeks, by the way, until maybe 2 days before we left, and I don't know, these mosquitoes must have known that I was flying home and thought, let me just get a little bit of juice before she leaves, because the way big, like massive mosquito bites, and I had several of them across my body. So highly recommend taking some mosquito spray. I would recommend taking snorkels. They do sell them obviously out there, but it's probably cheaper to grab them off Amazon prior to going out there. The water in Jamaica is beautiful. Under that water, the amount of snorkeling I be doing when I was in Jamaica, every time I go to Jamaica I snorkel. I highly recommend it. It's a nice free excursion whilst you're at your hotel. You can just go about it your own way. I'd highly recommend taking snorkels. I think that was it for things to take. Like that, they were the 3 main things that I would recommend anyway. Find a legitimate driver, a private driver, if you really want to. That's what we done, so I'm just going to speak on my experiences, okay? So I would recommend taking a private driver. Make sure their tags are red. That means that they are like official cab drivers, and that's what you want, okay? It took us a few days to find the correct driver. We had a few issues with like 1 or 2 moving back and forth on Instagram, like communicating, where they would give us one price and then the hotel private driver would give us another price. We ended up going with the hotel private driver who's literally situated within the hotel, and when we came back from our excursion, she asked for more money. So then after that we was like, you know what, let's go find our own driver. We literally left our hotel, and right outside our hotel there was the lovely guy. His name was called Byron. For the rest of our trip we used him for all of our excursions, supermarket trips, all of that. He was a lovely guy and I would highly recommend him. I'm going to use him again. I have his number on WhatsApp. If you guys are interested, I will share that with you. Just drop me a message over on my Instagram and I will DM it straight back to you, because I would always really like to give the Jamaican locals business rather than booking with TUI. I'm sorry TUI, but come on, let's give the money to the locals. So if you guys are interested, then let me know. With that being said, I'm gonna actually say point 8. Is that 8? I think it's 8. So the tour companies, the people who you flew with as a package, for example, I flew with TUI. I'm not gonna lie, their excursions were actually like affordable on the app, which I was quite surprised by, okay? But the only downfall is to this year, which, you know, I had to weigh up the options. So you got to weigh up the options in these situations, and it also depends on your group size. There was only 2 of us, and obviously in Jamaica it's cheaper to travel with a bigger group. The pros, I'll use TUI as an example. We'll go through the pros, okay? We're booking with a tour company. The pros are, it's cheap, it's cheap, it's cheap. That's it. Wait, that's actually it. Also, I think it gives you a bit more ease, you know, knowing that you're with an official company, the people who you've flown with. I think that might be it. The cons are, yeah, you're going to have to deal with leaving at a certain time, having to pick up people from all these other hotels prior to getting there. When you get to this excursion, leave at a certain time. You're not within your own means. As with a private driver, you can just be like, oh yeah, let's go here, we'll meet back at this time if you want. Or it's a lot more flexibility if you go with with a private driver in comparison to having a coach full of people. You're not able to stop off and get food and drinks and all of that with a tour company. So, you know, you do definitely have to weigh up your options. Let's go on to number 9. Hire a car. Hiring a car in Jamaica is a smooth process. You need to hire in advance. You don't necessarily have to, but if you don't, prepare to go out there and then there will be no cars available. Another point is, if you're going to hire a car, you can only hire it for 2 days minimum with a lot of the companies, okay? So bear that in mind, that you can't go and do a 1-day day trip with these hired cars, which is what we experienced. We booked a car on the Saturday for the Monday, and then when we walked to get the car on the Monday, the guy was like, we don't do hire cars by day after we walked all that distance. So you kind of want to avoid that situation, yeah, which is why I'm telling you that you need to book that car for 2 days minimum at a time, okay? Hiring a car, if you're confident enough to hire a car, I highly recommend it. One, you're gonna save tons of money. Imagine all you have to do is get that hire car, split it between whoever's going on that trip with you. You have to pay for petrol being split again. You don't have to feel bad about having your driver waiting around A, B and C like for however long. But that being said, the driving out there is very mad. So if you're gonna hire a car, take it with a pinch of salt that it can be a bit rough. So you need to be confident when you're in that car, okay? The airport, they have tons. So on arrival, you could literally just drive out there with your car. They have a lot of hire car companies in there and you want to go to an official place, okay? And number 10, I feel like a lot of this has been on like excursions and having the confidence to go about, but I feel like that's the top thing for when you go to Jamaica. Figure out what excursions you want to do prior to going, even if you just have it in your head. I wouldn't book my excursions before I went out there, but that's because I want to know what I'm going to do on a day-to-day. I think it's different for UK people, because when we go to Jamaica, we go for like 2 weeks minimum or 10 days minimum. As for with Americans or Canadians, you guys can fly back and forth, you know, you're like right around the corner. It's like us flying to all of these like Paris, Italy. It's very convenient, it's close by, you know. But with us UK people flying to America, we got things to do when we're out there, you know. We have to make the most of it, so we're booking up excursions. And with me, I like to excursion, rest day, excursion, rest day, excursion, rest day, because we need balance out here, okay girls? Okay, I need to wrap this up because my camera keeps overheating. But yeah, the moral of the story is, as long as you have an idea of what excursions you want to do, you can then communicate with the hotel, a driver, work out basically what's best to do and the locations of each one. For example, we did 9 miles and also we did Duns River on the same day. So we went to 9 miles and then we went down to Ochi. They worked that out for us because obviously you're not going to be familiar with the area. Okay, let's finish with final thoughts, which is not that much, to be honest. You will have the most amazing time in Jamaica. I hope you guys do enjoy your stay there. Have the best time in Jamaica. I'm only assuming that you're watching this video because you're planning on going there or you have an upcoming trip, so have the best time. Make sure you comment down below if you have any questions on your trip to Jamaica. Like this video. I hope I helped you guys as much as possible because I just thought it would be really useful prior to going myself. I am that person who will come online on YouTube to watch vlogs and to watch videos just like this to answer all of my questions. So I hope this video did help you. Usually you see videos and it's from a different clientele of people, you know. If you did like this video, make sure you like, comment and definitely subscribe. In just under 2 weeks I will be going to Cape Verde, which I'm very excited about, and I'm definitely going to document it for you guys. So yeah, make sure you stay in the loop for that. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys for watching and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.